Hey, what's up, family? Hey, today I want to do a video for you about money. I haven't done a money video in a while. And this one I'm going to title it Fiat Currency. Now, what is fiat currency? So that's going to be the word of the day as well, fiat currency. So if you look it up, to simplify what it means is that money that you have in your pocket, such as whatever you want to call it, legal tender, greenbacks, dead presidents. We all love to use that word, dead presidents. What fiat currency means, very simple, is that it really don't have a value at all. And it's only the value that it does has is because the government says so. See, the government say it's worth this, so that's why. But it's really not backed by anything. And what I mean by that is if you go back throughout history, you look anywhere before 1933, your dollars were considered gold certificates and they were backed by gold. In other words, let's say you had a $20 bill back then and you went into a bank and you asked the bank, could I have $20 worth of gold? You could give them that $20 and they'll give you $20 worth of gold. It was backed by something. But nowadays, but back then, when President Roosevelt was in office, he tricked everybody and convinced everybody to turn in your gold certificates for a $20 bill, which means nothing, which has no value on it at all. You know, you ever thought about it? That you could take the dollar, the $5, the $20, the $100 bill. Do you realize the same amount of ink makes all of those bills, the same amount of paper, but yet and still, this one's worth that much, that one's worth this much, this one's worth that much, and that one's worth that much? Why? Because the government says so. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's called fiat currency, meaning the government says it's worth something, but it's really not backed by nothing. Now, the opposite side of that will be called commodity currency, which commodity currency is normally a currency which is backed by something, like back in the days, something like that, like gold, or like, remember Venezuela back years ago when they was backed by the oil. Look at Venezuela now. They're in such a depression, their dollar has no value. It kind of reminds me of how a lot of black people are talking about reparations and stuff like this. But let's be honest. Black people are owed the most reparations than any group in this world, and they definitely deserves it. However, the government refused to give black people any reparations. Asians got it, Jews got it, still getting it, but they refuse to give it to blacks, and they are owed the most, right? But could you imagine if black people were truly given reparations? I mean, truly, not no, we giving grants to college and all that. No. Truly giving reparations like all these other people were given to get them on their feet. I guarantee if they was to truly give black people reparations, that'd be the day the dollar will crash. You'll see fiat currency now, the dollar will be utterly worthless, which it is now, but at least it has something. You can still take $1 into a store and buy, you can take $5, $3 into a store and buy a loaf of bread, because you know, loaf of bread is expensive. But if they was to truly give black people reparations, do you know they'd say the dollar is worthless? That's what they'd do. Let's be honest. That's what would really happen. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you another way to simplify fiat currency, or what the word fiat really means. Let's take it back when we was kids. In the average house, you was taught fiat and you didn't even realize it. Fiat was taught to you by your mother and father. Remember, like the government, because we say so. That's what fiat means. Because we say so. That's what the dollar is worth. Remember when you was a kid? Let's just paint some type of simple scenario. Let's say your school clothes. Remember you had some fresh school clothes, the brand new sneakers, the fresh shirt, the jack jeans and all that, right? When you came home, you seen your friends across the playground. You wanted to go play with them, right? You went to run outside and your mother or your father, hey, where would you go with them school clothes on? Well, you better take them school clothes on and put on them play clothes. And you're like, but why? You know what your mother and father said? Because I said so. That's why, damn it. See, that was fiat when you was a kid. How about, I'll give you another one. How about a lot of y'all, remember when you was outside playing and it was a little bit late in the evening and your parents told you, boy, when that street light come on, you better get your butt in this house. You better not come in this house in that street. You better be in this house before that street light come on. Or as soon as it come on, right? And if you said, but why all my other friends are out late, why can't I? Because I said so, that's why. You see? That would be fiat. And we're familiar with those stories. We used to laugh and joke about our friends about stuff like that, but that would be fiat. So understand the difference. You got fiat currency and you got commodity currency. And it's very simple to understand. Fiat currency has no value at all except for what the government says it is. Commodity currency is currency that has a backing, such as gold is backing it, oil, whatever the case may be of that country or whatever it is that's backing it. Yes, and even your penny. The penny, way back in the days, it used to be made with zinc. It used to be made with actual copper and had a value. Your nickel, your dime, and your quarter. Those things have no value really. They just have fiat currency as well. They are made of a mixture of alloy metals. They really have no value. Unlike way back in the days, remember when, let's say medieval times, even further, when you used to trade with people, barter system, you used to trade with people and you would have copper, silver, and gold. And you would trade these things. It had a value. And if you was really privileged, you had stuff as rubies, diamonds, you had precious gems. Those things really had a value on them. Unlike our fiat currency here in the United States, it's only backed by what the government says it is. So, what else could I add to that? So I would just end it with that. Just matter of fact, I'll put it to you this way. Could you imagine if any of y'all out there got a really old grandmother, grandparents, whatever, and they got them really old pennies? Don't sleep. Look through them pennies. Some of them pennies are actually, based on what the government, fiat currency. Some of those pennies that's past 1942, 43, something like that, some of them that's older than that, they're actually worth, based on what the government says, they're worth a bunch of money. And if you happen to have an elderly family member in your house that got that old money, as a lot of us love to say, and they got some old dollar bills that got them gold bars on them, and it said gold certificate, those things are worth thousands of dollars. But see, a lot of us, if we don't look into these things, we don't know that. We don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So what I would say in closing, this touches on another video I did about money way back in the days. I believe it was titled Payday Loans. And at the end of the video, I had stated, matter of fact, go back and watch that. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. But go back and watch that video. It's called Payday Loans. And I touched on the end when I said, things are always changing. Could you imagine our money change eventually here in this country? And now your money is based on you as a person. So if you're a person that lie, cheat, steal, and not an integrous person, then you're pretty much worthless, I said on that video. And that's what I would say now. It's like, since the government says fiat currency, we know that really, truly don't have no value. And commodity has a backing such as gold, oil, whatever the case. So now, just think about you. The money that we do use every day as a medium, as a medium of exchange. That's what we use money for, right? What have you used your money to actually buy that actually has value? You understand what I'm saying? Try to buy things that actually have value. And I mean true value. Not nonsense stuff out here, everyday stuff. Jordans and go get the new car or whatever the case. Silly stuff. Those things don't have no value. So at least buy things that have value. All right? And on that note, I'm going to let y'all go. Peace.